All right, so again, welcome back. You'll notice we have radii everywhere now. You have radii on radii on radii. By the way, headphones, please, so you can hear what I'm saying. When's your next quiz? Friday the 25th. Yeah, Friday the 25th. Good job. So this Friday, we have a quiz. The assignment that's not in the grade book yet is writing point slope equations that we should have finished yesterday. So make sure you turn that in. And then you're going to get something today and obviously throughout the rest of the week. Your warm-up today, you have to do two things. Distribute for number one, solve for y for number two. So let's remember how to do this, because today's notes and assignment is just stuff we've done before, to be honest, okay? So here we go. Number one. Do you see how number one has no equal sign? Make sure we don't have headphones, please. So, again, number one, there's no equal sign, so you're not solving like normal. What you're going to do is just distribute, like it says. So do you remember distribute? To distribute means to multiply into the parentheses, right? So we're going to do 2 times x and 2 times 3. Sorry, my pen wasn't working. It works now. Okay, here we go. 2 times x, 2 times 3. What's 2 times x? 2x. What's 2 times 3? 6. That's it. So if you're just distributing, you're just multiplying, that's it. It didn't say solve. So this is really just simplifying, okay? So number one's done. That was just distribute. Y'all remember how to do that. You multiply, right? Now number two, how do I solve for y? Is y by itself on the left? No, I have a minus 4 that needs to go away. So I do the inverse operation, the opposite. What's the opposite of minus 4? Plus 4, right? So to get rid of that minus 4, to get y by itself, I add 4 on one side. I must add it on the other side. Scratch that out, and now I just have y equals. Now I'm adding the 4 to the 6 because they're both regular numbers, constants, okay? So the 2x comes down, and 6 plus 4 is 10. That's it, okay? Now, our notes for today are pretty short and sweet, and this should look very familiar. We've done what we're doing today on multiple warm-ups before, okay? I'll show you right now. All right, so everyone's got these notes. Oh, no. Here we go. All right, check it out. Solve for y from standard. Now, again, we have done this on warm-ups before, not this week, but in weeks past. So this should look familiar. To solve for y, our goal is to get y by itself. Very important. On the left side of the equal sign. Cool. So if you have something in what's called standard form, this is standard form. If you have x and y on the same left side with some coefficients in front of it, a and b, equal to some constant c, then these are the steps you're going to use, okay? So we're going to be given this equation. We're going to solve for y, not 4e, but 4 space y, period. All right, that was a little spacing typo there. But number one, step one, move the x term to the right side of the equal sign by using inverse operations or what we call opposites, okay? Now, do you see how I bolded, underlined, and put stars next to this next couple lines here? The x term goes in front of the constant. Do you see that arrow? The mx goes before the b. Didn't we do this the last couple weeks? Does everyone know it's y equals mx first and then plus b after that, right? So when you're doing this, you're going to have to reorder the mx and the b, okay? And you are not going to combine like terms because they are not like terms. So here's what I mean. I got my original equation here. I want to get y by itself. So step one is to move the x. So if I want to move a positive 3x, what's the opposite of positive 3x? Negative or minus 3x. So that's why there's a minus 3x here. If you do it on one side, you do it on the other side. And go ahead and do this part. Scratch out the 3x and the minus 3x. They go away. You bring down 2y equals, now look, this is very important. The negative 3x and the 14 do not combine, right? Do you see how negative 3 has an x? 14 does not have an x. They're not like terms. They're not the same, okay? So we just write them next to each other. And remember that mx needs to go in front of the b. So this x term, see my arrow? Always goes in front of the constant. So the minus 3x goes first. The plus 14 goes second. You have to reorder them, okay? Reorder to make it mx plus b. Okay? Okay, and then step two, well, now I have 2y equals, but I don't want that 2 there. I want it to be just y equals. So you're going to undo any multiplication by dividing every term by that number, that coefficient. Remember, if it's a negative coefficient, you got to divide by the negative. So look, if it's 2 in front of y, how do I get rid of the 2 in front of y? Divide by 2. Everything gets divided by 2. And go ahead and write this part. Those 2's scratch out. Just the 2's. The y equals stays there. Cool. Now here's the deal. This and this, you want to put it in Desmos to reduce the fraction. Okay. Does negative 3 divided by 2 reduce to a different fraction? If you typed it in, the answer would be no. It stays the same, right? So that's why it's negative 3 over 2 here. But 14 over 2, don't leave it like that. What is 14 divided by 2? Hopefully you know that it is 7. But if you didn't know that, you type it into Desmos and it will reduce it for you. Cool? Once you've done that, you have y equals, you are done. Cha-ching. Does that sound familiar? We've done that on a couple of warm-ups already, okay? It was also on test 1 for some reason. But let's do some examples. Example number 1, solve for y. All right, here we go. Step 1, if I want y by itself, x needs to go to the other side. So how do I get rid of a positive 6x? What's the opposite? Negative or minus 6x on the left, minus 6x on the right. The 6x minus 6 cancels out. Now be careful. You're going to bring down the y term. Is it 3y or negative 3y? Negative, right? The sign goes with the number. So that's a common error. People just write 3y. But if there's a minus in front of it, you bring it down. Negative 3y equals, now here's another common error. 15 minus 6x, it's not 9, it's not 9x. You don't subtract them. Remember? You put the x term in front of the constant term. It's mx plus b. So the minus 6x goes first, the plus 15 goes after. Do you see how I'm reordering these terms? They're not like terms. They do not combine. I know I'm like overly repeating myself, but it's because so many people make the same mistakes. So be careful. Last step. There's a negative 3 in front of y, implied multiplication. So how do I get rid of any number that's right in front of y? Well, I have to divide. pen is not working. Sometimes the file freezes. There we go. 1 second. Let me. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Maybe I need a new battery. So if any of y'all have a quadruple A battery, let me know. So that being said, this is kind of crazy. That's all I was trying to do. So to get rid of the -3 in front of y, you divide. Divide by -3, divide by -3. Everything gets divided by -3. Okay? And it cancels out on the left. So now you can just bring down y equals. That's what I wanted. Now, am I going to write -6 over -3x? No, because I need to reduce the fractions. So I can drag this over here. Okay, and I would like Desmos. I would like Desmos, please. Get rid of all this old stuff. All right, -6 divided by -3. So I'm going to go to my fraction bar, -6 divided by -3. It gives me 2. Thank you, Desmos, for reducing my fraction. 2x. And then what's 15 divided by -3? -5 or -5. That's it. Do you see the steps to get from standard to slope-intercept? Standard has x and y on the left. Slope-intercept is y equals. Those are the 3 steps. Move the x by doing opposites. Put it in the right order. Divide everything. Use Desmos to reduce fractions. That's it. All right, one more example. So step 1, I need to move the x. The x term is a positive 5x, so I'm going to subtract 5x on both sides. 5x and minus 5x cancel out. I'm going to bring down not just y, not just 4y, but negative 4y equals 19 minus 5x. 19 minus 5x is not 14. It's not 14x. You don't combine them. You have to put the mx in front of the b. Negative 5x plus 19. And then your last step, to get rid of that -4 that's in front of y being multiplied, the opposite is to divide by the exact same number. So if it's negative, you got to divide by a negative. So divided by -4, divided by -4, divided by -4. What is -5 divided by -4? Now here's the deal. If you type it in and it gives you a decimal, please make sure you press this fraction button, okay? And it goes back to positive 5/4. So don't put, 1.25 or something, okay? 19 divided by -4. Now, if you're not sure what it is, you can type it in, but if it gives you the same fraction, then just minus 19/4. That's fine. Okay, that's it. The steps are on the page. You got 2 examples you can take a look at, and you're going to be doing these types of problems today in class. So let me know if you have questions. Obviously, you know your updated grade, so if you need to work on missing, makeup, correction work, that's fine. If you need to turn in the one from yesterday, that's fine. But you want to make sure you get 2 today's as well. Here we go.